All right. I want to welcome everybody to another episode of These Shadows podcast. This is a really cool moment for me here today for like little 7-year-old version of Trip Bodenheimer. So this is a cool opportunity. Today we have a very special guest, DC Glenn. He's a film actor, voiceover artist, which he's going to be working on as soon as he's done with this. Part of the iconic 1990s hip hop duo, tag team, Whoop, there it is. And also that Geico commercial, which is pretty popular right now with Scoop, there it is. Not gonna lie, I really liked that commercial the first time I saw it. Sir, how you doing?
I am very well. Before we get started, I gotta get something off my chest.
Yes, sir.
Winkles. All right. Now I've got that out my way. Let's go.
That's the end of the episode. That was perfect. So for our listeners out there, where are you located at?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia.
So you're right up the road from me.
Mm-hmm.
Down in Montgomery.
Georgia or Alabama?
Yeah, Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was down in Atlanta, 2 weeks ago? I was down there. So yeah, right up the road from us. Well, yeah, before we get started, I'm going to get things going with our 5 rounds presented by our sponsor, Giant Worldwide. Head over to Giant Worldwide, giant.tv/shadows. Check out one of their free webinars and sign up while you're at it. But first question for you. What's the one song you constantly catch yourself singing to yourself around the house?
Man, I don't even have no time to sing no song to myself in the house because I'm always busy. Wow. I really don't have one. I don't, let's see. Let me think about this. Probably Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's a good one.
If I get started on that, it just goes all day, right? But I saw it in a movie and it's just stuck with me. Just like 10 years ago, I saw it in a movie and it's just stuck with me ever since.
Okay. What's the biggest fear you have?
Biggest fear I have is, I really don't have too many fears as far as per se trying to do something or trying to move forward, because let me put it this way. People often ask me, DC, how do you do everything you do? And how do you handle your fear by jumping into new things or making the moves that you've made throughout your life?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you be scared. You can do both, right? And I think fear is best served by hitting it straight on the head, because there's no way around it, no way under it, no way through it. The only way to it is through it. So whenever I have, because, fear can come in the form of doubt. Fear can come in the form of action. It can come in the form of shame. So you have to be careful in which form it comes in. And you just have to always remember the easiest way to get through fear is just to fight through it and be scared, because there's nothing wrong with being scared. That's what hampers people, is especially men, is their pride.
Machismo, yeah, the ego.
If you let that pride, if you sequester that pride and kill your ego, your mind is open to solutions in the world. And then that fear dissipates, right? But because of your pride, that fear grabs a hold and then it's got you, right? And then you can't function, right? So for me, if I do fear something, I try to, we all have, it could be a fear where you almost get in a car accident, right? Or it could be, you just have to deal with it as it comes, but then you take a deep breath and then you just keep it moving, right? You keep it moving and you play offense and you don't look back and you go on to the next thing you have to tackle. So that's how I kind of deal with fear.
I like it. And yeah, definitely listening to your story and reading up, getting ready for this, I can definitely tell that you've kind of made a career out of taking that head on. And you said you don't have enough time to listen to much music, so I'm guessing I know where this next one's going to go. But the time this episode's released, we're going into the holiday season. What's your go-to holiday movie?
I should be politically correct and say Elf, because that's the day. It was like, I think 2003, 2004, where I'm sitting in a movie theater and I'm oblivious to all of it. Then all of a sudden I'm looking at Will Ferrell dance on a table to Whoomp, There It Is.
Yep.
And that was the day I knew that Whoomp, There It Is would be a forever hit record and it would become an evergreen product.
Yeah.
Right. So as far as Christmas movie, uh it's hard to say because there's so many. You just catch every now and then, you just catch one. Like what's the one with little kid put his tongue on the
Christmas Story.
Yeah, Christmas Story. Or you catch yourself watching a lot of those every now and then. So it just depends. But I think that one, if I catch that, my eye catches that, I'm watching it for a little while. And then maybe Elf, and then all the classic stuff, the classic claymation TV special. You'll catch those and you'll look at them for a little while and reminisce, but that's about it.
My daughter and I have been having this argument as of late, and I'm very interested to see what our listeners say as well. But Die Hard, whether or not it's a Christmas movie.
Oh, hey, let me tell you something. If that's a Christmas movie, that's my number one.
Die Hard, yeah.
See, I will always, both of them, I will always watch those movies because the first two, right? First one is at the Towers in LA. The second one is in New York? Yeah. Yep. So those two I will always watch because those are classics, man.
Now I'm going to tell you agree with me.
Huh? I do agree with you.
I'm going to tell you end of discussion.
Yeah. Because, man, think about it. He says they're at a Christmas party.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
The second one, he's coming home for the holidays. They're trying to work it out, and she's on a plane, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? Everything is Christmas about that. So I'm glad you brought that up because I love those movies.
She's stubborn. She even tries to fight me on Gremlins. I'm like, they're making Christmas cookies and playing Christmas music, and there's trees everywhere. I was like, of course it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, but not as much as Die Hard.
No. I think Die Hard's like on Christmas, like right around Christmas Eve.
Yeah. It's right. It's it's the office Christmas party. It's the perfect thing. So yeah.
Let's see. Next one. You have dinner for three with three historical figures who are no longer with us. Who do you eat with?
Boy. That's a good one. Well, if I'm having dinner, I'm gonna cook the dinner because I'm cold with it like that, and I'm I chef. So definitely Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay.
And probably I want to say Muhammad Ali, but I want to pick a female. And if it's a female, it'll probably be Pam Grier or Jane Kennedy in their prime.
Okay. Muhammad Ali's been invited to a lot of these lately.
Yeah. Okay. But I would love to cook dinner for Dr. Martin Luther King, because I'm sure we'd have a great conversation.
Got his church down here in downtown Montgomery.
His house. Definitely. Yeah.
All right. And then final, this isn't really a question. This is more of a story. You were telling me about this before you came on the air, but tell our listeners about your experience with the White Sox just recently.
So I've had a wonderful career. And because we're a clean rap group, we get to do things nobody else gets to do. And one of the things that we hadn't done before was throw out a first pitch. So White Sox called us and they wanted to do a whole 90s night. And, I'm like, oh no, I got to throw out a first pitch. I'm like, I haven't thrown a baseball in 20 years. Right. So I actually started going to a place called The Bat, where they have batting cages and everything. And I started throwing, got some coaches and everything. And I realized that is probably the best workout I have ever had in my life. I used to wrestle, play football, play basketball, everything. There is no greater workout than throwing 100 pitches. You walk out of there drenched.
Oh, yeah.
And I was doing good, man. I was getting ready to throw heat. I was getting better. And then I twitched something and a nerve off my neck. And I have not been the same since, man. But I did, I just rested. I fought through it, and I got the pitch over the plate. And now I'm just going through a little therapy here and there, just trying to get back the way, because you get old, man. You get old, things start breaking down. You can't do the same things you used to do. And it's harder because I can't get into physical therapy because everybody thought the pandemic was over and they went and started playing basketball and they threw out hips, knees, and ankles. So now every single one is just filled up. It's like 2 weeks before I can get into any physical therapy throughout. So it's been challenging, but I'm better now, and it's gonna get better because hey man, gotta get better. There's no other way. I still have things to do, right? And the only way you get to do them when you get my age, you gotta stay healthy. So That's my focus.
All right. Well, you survived our 5 rounds of
Mm-hmm.
rapid fire questions. So now let's get into your story here. You got a very interesting story. I was really excited to
Mm-hmm.
to get you on here. First of all, start off just telling us about your upbringings as a child.
Well, the thing I remember most about my upbringing is that my parents worked me like a dog. I have been stemming collard greens and shucking peas since I was 5 years old. But you would understand this because my mother was born in Tuskegee, Alabama. So anybody from the South, if you're a prep cook, you're gonna learn how to cook one way or the other. Or, my father used to make me mow the lawn, cut grass, shovel the snow, anything. We had to do everything. Me and my brother, and I appreciate that more than anything because one, I have never not known how to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Working had never been new to me because I've been doing it since I was so young. So I thank my parents for that. And I thank my parents for just doing that because I don't fear work now.
Yeah.
You be like, I just try to do everything. I know I can do everything and I want it to be challenging and I want it to be hard because I know that everybody else is not going to do it because it is hard. And it's only as hard as you make it. Right. And I try to do everything. I try to make myself invaluable in every way. I try to learn everything that I can learn. That's all I do is learn now. And you get to a point in life where you see that there are no mistakes. There are no missed opportunities. You can correct every mistake that you've made in your life if you just learn how to do it. Right. And there are so many different tactics and hustle tactics and techniques that I've developed throughout my years that I can do 10 things at one time. I've got an audition for 3 voiceover things I got to be doing in the morning. I got an acting audition for this Christmas movie. And then I got to go out of town on Friday and do a show. Right. And I got to build my website because I do SEO. I got to build a new website, dcglenn.com. Tag team is done. Then I got to write letters to all the ice cream companies because I'm trying to partner with them so they can take this ice cream that was just a novelty thing and then blow it up worldwide.
Yeah.
Right. All I do is prepare. I prepare ad nauseum because I planted so many seeds. You better, I better be ready just in case one of them seeds, flower. Right. And it just happens. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's a reverse way of thinking, right? Because we're in a bizarro world right now, where you want to believe it or not. And, the Superman bizarro world analogy usually is a bad thing, but if you can adapt to it and be positive, it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. It's all about adapting to your situation. It's all about adapting to your environment. It's all about listening and looking and watching, right? Because where there's positive, there's negative. And I don't deal with the negative, I deal with the positive. I don't deal with the glass being half empty. I see the glass as half full. And I just keep playing offense. That's it. And I realized a while back that there is no quid pro quo. You don't do this and get that. You just do it and keep it pushing. Just plant them seeds. And, perfect analogy I have, you don't plant a seed, sit down next to it and say, come on, seed, grow. Grow, seed, please grow. This seed don't work, I quit. How many people we know that like that, right?
Yeah.
Because they think that because they do something, they're supposed to be rich. And it don't work like that. You plant that seed, keep it moving. And I've planted so many seeds in my life. I stand before you in a forest of opportunity unimaginable. So the only thing I can do is prepare for all these seeds that I planted. And then people tell me, DC, you're master of all trades, jack of all trades, master of none. They used to tell me back in the day. And I'll be like, yeah, but if you live long enough, hustle hard enough, and you learn how to learn, you become masterful at all those trades, and they come back to serve you in ways you never thought possible. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm sure that your military services come back to serve you in ways you never thought possible.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you have, and I talk to service cats all the time, and I just like flip your brain, right? Flip your brain and think on the other side of what you're thinking now, because there's a solution there. Think of, first of all, ask people, what do you want? And half the people can't even tell me. Or somebody's complaining and giving me problems. I'm like, well, what's the solution? And they're like, what are you talking about, man? I was like, what's the solution? You've been giving me all the problems. What's the solution? And they can't tell me, right? Because you're so stuck in the negative part of it.
Yep.
And what I tell cats is, look, figure out what you want. And don't just be like, I want to do this. You gotta be pie in the sky, fantastical, make believe, far-fetched, right? And that's way up here. And you can't get, it's going to be hard to get there, but you see it. And you say, boy, if I could get there, I'm good. Mm-hmm. So what do? You inch your way back. What's it look like now? Still far away, inch your way back. Okay, so if I did this, learn how to do that, inch your way back. Wait a minute, I'm halfway doing this right now. And what you do is you work your way back to practicality. And what you've just done is you've created a reverse business plan with a step ladder to your goals and dreams, because you thought big, you thought high, and you saw it. So you created the steps. You know what you need to do to get there. Now it's time to put in the work, and that is where people see what you're made of. So if you ain't got that in you, it don't matter how many plans you got, right? Yeah. But you got to have it in you, right? And most people do have it in them, but a lot of people don't know how to utilize it, right? So that's one way I do it. Same with solutions, same with anything, controlling your emotions. You don't react to it. I mean, it took me a long time to get to this point, but I could take any negative emotion, fear, envy, hate, anger, disgust, despair, right? And the key to it is you don't react to it in the moment, right? You take all that energy and you put it in your pocket and you use it for later. Now you're dying inside, of course. But for me, I have all these outlets that I can use that energy, because if it's in your pocket, it ends up turning into positive energy because somebody done did something wrong to you. So now I can say, well, this ain't that hard because I'm going to show this punk that what I'm made of. Or if I got an acting audition and I need to be a character, the character is a man who had an argument with this girl. And well, I had an argument with a girl last week, so I get to pull it out my pocket and now I'm there and I'm not trying to be a character. The character becomes me. And now it's real. And that's acting. Yeah. You learn how to use these emotions later, not right there. If you react to it, then you're stuck in that rabbit hole, right? I often tell people I love to be wrong, because we talked about it earlier. As men, our pride is our Achilles heel. And I love to admit when I'm wrong, because that sequesters your pride and your ego. Kills you inside. You're like, I was wrong. But you don't even realize that because you've sequestered your pride, that your mind is open to every possibility now. Mm-hmm. And being wrong is the path to being right. And you'll never be wrong at that again. But if you're going to argue with somebody and you just want to win the argument and you just keep going down the rabbit hole of untruth, now you're stuck there. Now you're believing all that crap that you're saying. And now you're truly lost. When you could have had your mind open and you're closer to your goals and dreams, and you're closer to the things that you want for your life and your family and everybody else, right? And I'm not going to say it's a mindset. It's more of a, it's reality, right? It's like, don't nobody got time for all that extra stuff right now. All of this is easier said than done, but you got to educate yourself. Right. And, I'll come up with tactics to do that. Like, I mean, just when everybody throws an obstacle in front of me or anything, here's a perfect example. Usually when you do a Geico commercial, right? Like Salt and Pepper did theirs 2014. They toured till the pandemic. But I got a Geico commercial. I can't tour. Right. So I'm like, what am I going to do? And I said, let me get a publicist for acting and voiceover. So I go to all these publicists and they're like, well, we haven't done this before. We're working from home. And they gave me every reason why they couldn't instead of one reason why they should. And when that happens, I'm like, thank you. I'm going to be my own damn publicist. And what I do is I join either organization, association, or society, because those organizations are filled with people who have been expert in their profession for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and they love every minute of it. And they have all the resources, right? So I joined the Public Relations Society of America. 2 days in, Super Bowl week, I'm on the podcast, it's Zoomcast, where we get to talk to the CEOs of these PR firms. And I raised my hand. I'm like, why our press release is relevant? And they're like, what's it for? I'm like, well, I'm kind of featured in a national Geico commercial called Scoop. There it is. You know, I had to lay it on a little thick, right? I'm looking at the chat. It blew up the entire Zoom call. Yeah. Wait a minute. That's not him. Is that good? Wait a minute. Man, my mother loves that. My uncle, everybody was it just blew it up. And the moderator was like, all right, y'all. Let's back to DC's questions. Our press release is relevant. And the CEO's like, yes, because the whole last year has been COVID. It's been political. Everybody been fighting. And here you guys come throwing sprinkles, making everybody laugh, smiling, dancing. Of course, that press release is going to work. You're going to go here for all the journalists. You're going to go here for all the TV talk shows. You're going to go here for all the podcasts. And you're going to make sure your pitches like that. I like this. And it has changed my life in ways I could have never imagined just by joining an organization. They gave me the game. And it is the reason why you and I are talking right now. Right?
Yep.
All you got to do, even if you don't join the organization, all you got to do is pick up the phone and start calling and asking the questions that you want to know about that field. And you get a college education in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've joined, they were telling me I couldn't do shows. Well, you guys only got one hit. Okay. Well, let me find an organization. Let me go to the buyers. Let me go to the horse's mouth. I went to the International Entertainment Buyers Association. I go to their convention. Me and Chubby Checker, the only black dudes there. I got a big Whoomp, there it is, t-shirt on. I start networking. Next thing you know, I didn't realize it was that many forms of entertainment. But because I am who I am, people were, hey, I'm DC Tag Team. How you doing? It's like, I know who you are. And I'm like, well, here's my card. If you guys need a clean 90s nostalgia rap group, we're your guy. And all of a sudden, everybody's talking to me, and now we're doing shows. Because in the hierarchy of concerts, you got your buyer, who's the person who puts the whole thing on. Mm-hmm. You got your big time, you got your venues, your Hard Rock cafes and your stadiums and your arenas. Yep. Then you got your Live Nations and your iHeart TV, iHeart radios. Then you got the mom and pop promoters who are the very people that were telling me that I couldn't do it because I had one song. The managers than me, I cut out the whole middle. Now all the buyers are like, I could put you in the state fair because all I need you for is 10 minutes, right? And you guys are clean, and it gives me a little variety in what I'm doing. Now the sheer magnitude of things that we do stretch across the board because I joined that organization and it was instant. And I've joined, that's all I do. When I want to learn something, I'll join that organization. I'll take a class. I'll do whatever it takes to learn it. And then I've learned it, and now I add it to my hustle, and now my hustle is custom to me.
Yeah.
So everybody out there, don't ever, ever let someone tell you can't do something. Don't ever believe you can't do something, because just because you didn't do something back in the day, or just because you didn't do something last week, or just because you haven't done something does not mean that you can't. Sometimes in life, we're just not ready. And that's okay. It's okay. And I just, pandemic's greatest thing that ever happened to me, because the other side is the other side. But the pandemic made me understand a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to leave this earth regretting something that I didn't do that I wanted to do. So I got tutors for everything now. I'm about to make music again. I'm about to do everything I always wanted to do. And, I didn't think I could be an actor. And I had my chances. But see, like I said, one of the things where you beat yourself up. I'm in the office of New Line Cinema in 96. And he's like, yeah, we might want to cast you for this movie. But I'm, Whoomp, there it is. I'm like, yeah, talk to my manager. Right. But he's like, well, Wesley Snipes and LL Cool J are fighting for the main spot. It's a vampire movie called Blade, right? And I beat myself up for that for years because I was there.
Yeah.
Right? 95. I'm sitting in the bowels of Disney, teaching the voices of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap because we did a Disney's record for the kids. That started my voiceover career.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready because I'm DC the Brain Supreme tag team. I'm in my own element, right? And I beat myself up for years for that. I was there, right? And that's why I say just wasn't ready. But look at me now. Extensive list of voiceovers that I do. And I've got 3 movies, 2 TV shows about to come out, and just booked another TV show. And I've only been acting for 3 years because when I do something, I go hard and I'm going to learn it. So this is a testament to me as the person, right? Because I plant seeds. And 28 years ago, I planted the biggest seed of all, and now it's a redwood tree. Whoomp, there it is. Right? And it served me in ways that I could never because it was traumatizing. I signed a bad record deal, right? We were in a 20-year legal battle, but I could have became old and bitter like most artists.
Yeah.
I looked at the glasses half full. I was like, I'm going to get my day in court. So, and I can't fight 2 record companies, but I sure can learn from both of them. So let me end up being a paralegal and understand what they're talking about and prepare. And that's what I did. And got all the discovery together, learned what emotion was, learned the lingo, learned all these things and how it works and how they were going to fight each other. So when it came time for me, my day to be in court, I was ready, right? Yeah. You know, but if there's a job that you can't stand, if there's a job that you hate, you know, this is what I've always done. Like, I've been DJing for 30 years. I'm not just a DJ. I'm your light guy. I'm your sound guy. I do your graphics. I do your television ads. I do your radio ads. I'm your voiceover. I do your fashion photography. And what I've done is I made myself invaluable. You can't get rid of me, right? And if you did, well, that's just made my transition to the next thing easier because I've got all these things in my toolbox that are a part of me that I've mastered and you paid for it. So I tell people, if you are in a job you can't stand, you better learn how to do Sally's job, Henry's job, their job, your boss's job, the CEO's job. And if somebody don't show up for work and they be like, he ain't here, I'll do his work. You got to let them see you hustle. And you're not doing it for the company. You're not doing it for nobody but yourself. You're doing it for yourself. So your transition to the next bigger thing can be easier for you. Right?
Yeah.
But if you just like, I ain't about to do all that work, got me, then the pandemic's going to come and you ain't going to have no job and you're going to be stuck. Or financial crisis is going to come and you ain't going to have no job and you're going to be stuck. You can't adapt and keep it moving. So I'll call all these things learn how to learn hustle tactics. It's not enough just to learn. You got to learn how to learn.
Yeah.
Right? You got to figure that thing out. You got to think outside the box, inside the box, over the box. And that's, you know, there's a reason they call me DC the Brain Supreme because I be figuring stuff out because I can't do it any other way.
Yeah.
I can't. And every solution is practical. It's just about how you deal with it in here, right? And like I said, and let me tell you something. You know, I have my traumatic moments sitting in the movie theater. I didn't know that they use Whoomp, there it is, and Elf.
You got
and it was bittersweet. Half of me was pissed off and half of me was happy.
Yeah.
So which one am I going to focus on? The happy one.
Yeah.
The bitter side, stay over there, right? It's still in me. I just choose not to deal with that. I choose to deal because I realize that it's up to me to get my own money.
Yeah.
It ain't up to nobody do anything for me. So when people's like, this person needs to do this for me, this person needs to do that for me, I'll be like, you already lost because ain't nobody going to do nothing for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and you have to have that mindset. So when people do something for you and people do come through for you, it's a pleasant surprise. Right. And that's just how I've always operated, man. And I don't mean to get, you know, fire and brimstone on y'all, but this is important to me, man, because my mission is just to talk to people about the things that I wish somebody had talked to me about when I was a young man. And I've had a plethora of education, and I've had a good life. I've partied. I've done everything I've wanted to do and continue to do the things I want to do. And I'm just telling you how I did it, because you guys are looking at living proof of what I've done. Right. And it ain't luck. It's hustle.
Yeah.
It's hustle. It's strategy. It's heart. Right. And I'm telling you, I have my days too, but it don't last long because there's work to do.
Yeah. So. I one thing, you've actually said a couple of things in there. Someone told me this morning, actually, that fear, obstacles, adversity are opportunities waiting in disguise. And people run from them all the time, but you got to pull that mask off. They said it's like the Scooby-Doo. You got to pull it off, and there's opportunity under there waiting for it. And I think your story, is a prime example of that. Going back to tag team, Steve Gibson, like, where did y'all meet? Was it high school? Is that right?
Yeah. So we both from Denver. I went to 11th grade. I went to Manual High School, and both our last names start with a G. So I sat next to Steve, and Steve had a band, and I used to play in the choir. So I wanted to be in his band. Then I worked at the truancy office, which was down the office from the choir room. So I heard the choir sing. I wanted to be in the choir. And then I went to my first high school dance, and I seen 2 turntables and a microphone and a mixer. That's back in the beginning of hip hop.
Yeah.
And I wanted all 3. And that changed my trajectory, and I mastered all 3. And through high school, I started DJing, I started rapping. We got in the band. When I come back home from summer break, we would go do gigs and stuff. And I got good at DJing in college. I got good at making songs in college because we got a 4-track, started learning how to make the songs by myself in my own living room. Started writing lyrics. I'd write lyrics in class instead of studying, but I knew what I wanted to be.
It worked out for you.
It worked out for me, right? And Steve had went to Atlanta to go to the Art Institute, and I came down to visit him and have a good time, and went to this club called Magic City. And I had $500 in my pocket, and within a half hour, it was gone because Tinkle and Sparkle got all my money, as I had never seen nothing like that in my life. And I went back to Sacramento, packed my stuff, and moved to Atlanta. Then I was trying to get a job at CNN, but I went to Magic City. The DJ was sucking one night. I was like, y'all need a DJ? The owner was like, come see me Monday. He was like, I don't need no DJ, but I need a cook. Can you cook? Yeah, I can cook. So you be the cook and the backup DJ. I cooked 2 orders of chicken wings and a salad, and I was in that DJ booth because the other DJ was like, can you DJ for me? I'm gonna go run some errands. But he was being lazy.
Yeah.
But he didn't realize who I was. Right. And I took over, and I was the head DJ within a week, because they had never seen anybody like me, because I didn't think I was that good as a DJ, being in California with a lot of people, other DJs. But then I was an excellent DJ once I got to the South. Right. And fast forward, we're making songs, we're having a good time, we're partying, Atlanta's the bomb. And I realized we'll never get out of the Southeast unless we do an up-tempo record, because it's the land of booty shake. Mm-hmm. I go to Steve and say, hey, man, we got to do an up-tempo record. He's like, man, I love bass, but I can't make that stuff. I was like, don't think like that. I said, go back to the essence of hip hop, because for me, the essence of hip hop is Planet Rock. You throw Planet Rock on any party, it's going down. Egyptian Lover, all those records back in the 80s, all the freestyle records back in the 80s. He's like, bet, make it how you want to make it. I had lyrics already written. I had books of lyrics, but I was working on this song called Whoomp, There It Is, which was just the party saying in the clubs. And everybody thinks that Whoomp, There It Is was this big Manhattan project where we got lab coats on and I got theorems, and we're just making up calculations when it was nothing but guys chasing girls on a Friday night. Is the same song as every country song, every rock and roll song, every song in existence, right? Men chasing women, having a good time. And we recorded it that day on a Thursday in August of 1992. I came to work, dropped it in a cassette. To this day, it's the biggest record I have ever had a response on that I played, and I've been DJing for 30 years. So fast forward, I had started playing it. One of the record reps was in the crowd, Alan Cole from Columbia Records. Yep. He was like, what is that? And I was like, it's a new record, man. He was like, man, give me that. Because I'm going to New York and I want to let them hear this. And he goes to Columbia Records, and they like, we love this record. I get a call from Columbia Records, and now, now I'm talking to all the major labels because everybody's starting to hear about it.
Is that Al Bell?
No. These are the majors, right? So, but they wasn't trying to pull the trigger, so I almost gave up. And then Lisa McCall, worked for Mercury Records, was like, you need to talk to Al Bell, because he put out Daisy Dukes last year and it went gold. And I was like, oh, he might be able to do something with this. And for those who know who Al Bell is, in the beginning of soul music, there were 3 record companies: Philly International, Motown, and Stax Records. Al Bell owned Stax Records, so he knew the game. And I called him. 2 weeks later, he calls me back, and he's like, Mr. Glenn. I'm like, hey, man, look, we got a hit record. Forget all them niceties. We got a hit record. I've tested them in the biggest club in the country. You got to sign us. And he was like, okay. And I was like, oh, you ain't even heard the record. I'll never forget these words. He said, brother, I don't have to hear the record. I hear it in your spirit. Mm. He said, let's agree to agree and get this thing moving. I gave my 2 weeks in Magic City, signed a messed up record contract, and in a month and a half, Tag Team is platinum. And the rest is history. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it was instant. Right. But it took 10 years to get there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it took that long to get there.
Did you have any idea that we'd be sitting here in 2021 still talking about it?
I was hoping. I expected to have a career like that. Yeah. That's what you get in it for, right? Yeah. I knew Whoomp was a big record, but then I always knew that I had to hustle no matter what if I was going to use Whoomp in a way that it can always pay my bills. Mm-hmm. And it could always make me have a better life, give me a better life, and be the stepping stone for me to do greater and bigger things, right? Because I can get in any boardroom with that record, because everybody who loves that record, when they were young, they're now CEOs of companies. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to think differently, right? Most artists would have somebody else doing what they do. I do everything. I'm my own publicist. I'm the management. I'm the one that makes the deals. I'm the one that does all the booking, all the airfare and all. I do everything. Yeah. Because I can. And I realize that I don't expect anything from anybody else, because ain't nobody going to do it like I'm doing it. Yeah. Right. You only expect things from people when you really, I don't know. I've never done it. Now, I used to be mad. I'm like, man, why don't they help me do this? And why don't they help me do that? And now I just I don't even look at it that way. I just get it over with and do it.
It matters in your own hands.
Yeah, man. I keep playing offense and keep learning and keep going. And now it's easy. Right. Yeah. Now I can do 10 things at one time because I know how to handle all of it. Right. And it has made my life full. And I have fun every day trying to come up with new ideas and new ways to get me more money off of my forever hit record. Because right now I'm in the process of pretty much making a tag team museum, because, I do SEO. I do Wikipedia. I do Wikidata. I do all these things. I code. I do all these things to help me get in front of the people I need to get in front of, so I can get what I want. Everybody's like, well, you gotta get on social media. No, you don't. You don't even know what social media is for. I said, well, I'm too old to be on social media, because I'm not going to do nothing stupid just to get people to like me. Because everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants everybody to like them. So I want 100,000 likes. Well, you don't need 100,000 likes. People like, I ask people, I say, if you were looking for you, what would you type into Google? What? If you were looking for you, what would you type into Google? You don't even know what you're worth. You don't even know what you do. You don't even know what your value is to people. What is your value add? You don't even know, because you're worried about likes, right? When you don't need 1,000 likes, I know exactly what I know exactly who I am and what I want. So therefore, if somebody asks a question, where can I find a 90s group that could do my kid's birthday party? That's what I'm trying to be in front of. Yeah. Where can I do my daughter's 16th birthday party and do this? Or where can we find a group that's clean that can do this? Where can we find this? Where can we find somebody to do this baseball game? Where can we find this? Where can we find that? Where can we find me? You don't need 100,000 of those. You need 10, because you're answering a question. You're solving a problem for somebody. That's what you have to be. You have to be the solution to other people's problems. So if you have expertise in something, if you're a plumber, you better be in front of the person that they sink just broke or they toilet just broke and now doo-doo's everywhere, and you can come fix it. Perfect example, you get in a car wreck, you break your leg. Hey, call 911. Wait a minute, we good. There's an ambulance right there. That's SEO.
Yeah.
If you can do that, there's nothing you can't do.
Somebody actually told me not too long ago, they said you can have 9,000 followers, but it's that good looking website that's going to get somebody, catch your attention.
But then that good looking website is only going to get you so far because it just looks good.
Yeah.
Right. That person that looking at it said, that's a pretty website, but I don't need you for nothing. But see what a website's supposed to do, a website's supposed to get in front of somebody that needs you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If I am the person that can be on your podcast, well, then I need to be in front of you. If I want to be in a certain movie or get in front of a certain casting director, then I need to be in front of you on a stealth level where you can see me and you don't even know that I'm in front of you.
Yeah.
Right. Because I present the solution to your problem because you've typed it into Google. You say, how do I do this? Well, if I go into my stuff, there's 5,000 people who are asking that same question, and I can do that. So why not answer that question?
Yeah.
And then Google gives you the recipe. Like Google is a robot. Google is not a person. Google don't have no feelings. Google is about data. And Google gives you the recipe, right? It's a robot. It gives you the recipe. And all you got to do is feed the bot. So what are you going to be? Are you going to be a Waffle House chef, a Waffle House cook, or are you going to be a 5-star Michelin chef and help Google do its job for it and feed that bot?
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes out and grabs everything in the universe about you, brings it all and centralizes it so everybody can see. And if you answer those questions, you say, I can do this for people. Google takes care of you. Now you got more, you're getting more clients than you could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
Now it took me years to get to that, to where I understood that. But that's part of that reverse thinking, right? Yeah. That's part of that staying out of your feelings, sequestering your ego, sequestering your pride. You have to have an open mind. And that's what I've been doing, man. And it's been working for me. So all I can do is just try to tell people what I've done. Join organizations. Even if you don't, just if there's something you want to do, because that's why I used to do when I was young. Dudes be like, you know, my boys would be like, man, I want to try to find a job, man. It's like, how many places you go? Like 4? It's like in a day. I was like, man, bring me them yellow pages. For those who know what yellow pages are, it's like a computer in a big yellow book, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah. But you know, there might be some young folks that don't even understand that. And I like, where you want to work? Restaurant. I'm like, okay. Hey, how you doing? Are you hiring? Okay, thank you. Hey, can I come fill out an application? Okay, not hire. Okay. Hey, are you hiring, or can I come fill out an application? Yeah. This girl just quit. You can come now. You got a job. Thank you, sir. Bam. All you gotta do is pick up the phone and call and ask if they're hiring. Right.
I do want to ask you about your legal battles that you had. You said you had 20 years worth of legal battle. Looking back at that, what was the biggest thing you learned about yourself throughout that whole tumultuous time?
That you have to stay focused on the glass half full. Because if you start thinking about the glass half empty, you become old and bitter, right? And you can't, you know, and looking at the glass half full allows you to win, allows you to prevail, right? We prevail, but it was at a cost, right? You know, hey, you go into combat, you might come back without a leg or arm or eye patch. You know what I mean? You're going to come back with some damage. And I'm telling you, I was damaged by that. Year 2017, August, I laid in my bed a whole month depressed. I don't know why, I just was, right? Because I was like, what am I gonna do? You know, because it was over, and it was like, what do I do now? I knew what I would do, but something came over me. I had to figure out. I had to sit there and I had to just lay there and be still to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I got a call from this company, said, we like your voice. We got $10,000 for you to do our narration for us. I was like, I know what I'm gonna do now. And then I just went hard and I started booking in voiceover because I had been practicing voiceover for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. And I had limited success here and there, but then I got an agent. That's why I got with the People Store. And then I'm at the People Store for voiceover, biggest agency in the Southeast. And the owner comes in, is like, I like your face, put him on camera. I'm like, what that means? She's like, you're an actor now. I'm like, whoa, I wasn't even thinking about being an actor.
Yeah.
But now I have the opportunity. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go hard. Right. And I was in class every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day till the pandemic. And right before the pandemic, I booked my first national Pizza Hut commercial for March Madness. And it was going down. And it got snatched from me, but I wasn't mad because I booked. So that let me know that I could do this, right? And I took the time when I'm sitting there when, this is back in March 2020, start of the pandemic, when we all thought we was going to turn to zombies and start eating each other. I took my time and I went back over all my lessons, organized them, and reinvented myself on voiceover. And it was heartbreaking because I had to listen to my 10-year-ago self, have a conversation with myself, with other people. And I was just I had no clue. I was the one getting in my own way. And it was heartbreaking, but at the same time, I had put in so much work. I understood what them coaches were telling me.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, I could do this now. And it was the best. I found it was beautiful because I finally had mastery over my voice. And it was the perfect time in history because at that time, every commercial was what? We're all in this together. COVID.
Everyone.
Yeah. And I'm booking like crazy, right? And then my LA coach is like, yo, I'm going to cast this movie. I got a movie for you. Can you get to Nebraska? Sure can. I got a hazmat suit. All right. Then another producer, hey, I got a movie for you in South Georgia. They letting us film. I'm in. Then I book a Tyler Perry House of Pain episode. Then I book a Publix fall campaign for voiceover.
Oh, nice.
And then I get a call from my agent. DC, you just booked a Geico commercial. I was like, don't play with me, Lena. I haven't even auditioned for a Geico commercial. She's like, no, DC, they want a tag team. I was like, oh. Went back, checked the tag team phone. There it was. And then they didn't even wait. And because I know SEO, I could be found. They were looking for me, right? And they found me because they went to my IMDb, found my agents. I was like, I ain't got to get no lawyers or nothing. And they do good work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I always get paid on time. It's perfect. Synergy was great. And I let them make the deal. And it is the biggest, most lucrative deal I've ever made in my life.
Nice.
And now we're off to the races.
How fun was that to film that?
It was fun because I'm an actor.
Yeah.
And I prepared for that. And I said, I want to go in with 10 things, right? To make that just because I prepared. And that's how I booked that pizza commercial, because I changed my auditioning tactics, right? Because I wasn't booking nothing. I was like, I got to change this. I got to figure this out. And the night before we shot the commercial, we talked to the producer and the director. I'm like, look, I got some ideas, like whatever you want to do, DC. I was like, well, I was trying to make this spin and scoop, but I couldn't figure out how to make it. He's like, it'll be done tomorrow. I was like, oh, we're in the big time, right? And I was like, I know kids love sprinkles, so I got some sprinkle thing. I'm gonna do the LeBron James. I want to do the Salt Bay sprinkle. I want to do all kind of stuff. We got to have a lot of sprinkles. Like DC will have a truckload of sprinkles. I said, we do this certain days. DC, whatever you want to do, we will do. And we did it all. They shot 5 Geico commercials with that. And fast forward, Christmas night, it dropped. And my phone has not stopped ringing since.
I bet. Do you imagine the whole sprinkles thing would take off like it did?
Kind of, but I knew that I knew that part of it was going to be dope.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that I didn't know that sprinkles now is the new party people.
Yeah. It was like so subtle at the end where I was
yeah. So, and it's funny. Like I've laughed at that 1,000 times. Every time it comes on, I still laugh because it's so funny. Right. I don't know why it's funny.
It's got the guy talking about Geico, and then you hear in the background, sprinkles. That's what makes it. I wasn't ready for it the first time I heard it. And then I was like, oh.
And people, I'm telling you, it is so popular that it is the encore of our show, and people lose their everything when it comes on. Because we do Whoomp and we walk off and we come back. I'm like, what am I forgetting? And they're like, huh? I was like, I'm forgetting something. Then I'll pull out my spinning scoop and I'll start spinning the scoop. They're like, wait a minute. Oh no, they're not going to do that. And it'd be like, Tasha. And it just, everybody, it just erupts and everybody just sings along, and we didn't have to cut it or nothing. It's just a commercial. And they love it. And they just give us a stand ovation and just yell. And then I'll be like, sprinkles, you get sprinkles, and y'all get sprinkles, and everybody gets sprinkles. I hold it for like 30 seconds, and everybody's just like, yeah.
Get you some merch, get you some shirts with sprinkles on.
Can't though, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm doing too many things, man. Like I have to say no to a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I have to say no because I had a t-shirt company, so I know how it works. Yeah, and I know that it's just, that's something that takes a lot. Right? Mm-hmm. They want me on Cameo. They want me on all these platforms where I can be making lots of money, but I don't have the time because I'm trying to get that big lick.
Yeah.
We just shot our second Geico commercial, dude.
Oh, nice.
And they gave us an ice cream. We have an official Geico tag team ice cream.
Ooh, okay. When's that supposed to drop?
It was for a sweepstakes, but it's so popular and everybody wants it now. Got to figure out a way to get it in the store.
Yeah.
So if we get into stores by spring, everybody's going to want to eat. Everybody's going to want to try it once, and it is good. We had to go through 3 iterations before we got the recipe right.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like, let's do it like we do NFL stadiums, where you just where you like, hey, every stadium in this country got a corporation on top of it.
Yeah.
Why not do it with an ice cream? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Why not do it with an ice cream? And it's like, then you get somebody like, Private Label or Ben & Jerry's to manufacture it. And then it's in every store. And now this is something that has never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
That's the things I concentrate on, the things that have never been done before. And I've got like 5 things I would love to talk to you about, but I can't because I'm under NDAs. Yeah. That's how bananas my life is.
That's a good problem, though.
Yeah. So for me to do the merch and all the other stuff, I get it, but there's just no way. You have to pick and choose what you want to do, right? And right now, I'm trying to hit super licks, because you hit that super lick and it becomes a pension plan, right? If I get a piece of ice cream that's popular, that sells for a long time, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm already good, but I'm talking about I'm done.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to find something new to do, because I'm making music again. So I would never be an artist, but I would, submit a Christmas song for a Christmas movie that I have auditioned for. Right.
Yeah.
Christmas song that's a halfway hit. It's going to get licensed every year. That's another pension plan. I'm thinking in terms of pension plan.
Imagine how much Mariah is making just off her Christmas album.
But I know how much she's making. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's my lane. Yeah. Or even a Halloween song. Come on, man.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah,
a Halloween song, it gets licensed every year for 2 weeks. That's you pay for everything.
Well, now people start listening to it in September, so you're looking at
exactly. Month, you can do that with so many things, or you could think about it. There's so many ways you can sell that. You can license that record. You can license it to a ad agency. Then they put it in a TV commercial for something that's big and pay you handsomely. Plus you get the SAG money, or it's in a movie that's coming out of a comedy, scary movie, whatever, or just gets played like crazy on radio.
Yeah.
Or gets bought on iTunes. Yep. Right. All these things are these are pension plans. I'm only working with pension plans. Like my agents were like, we had a big meeting. They said, DC, what do you want? I said, I'm good. You guys do a great job for me. They're like, DC, what do you want? What kind of roles do you want? I was like, I'm good. He said, DC, what is your bucket list? I said, oh, different question, right? And I was like, I want to be in The Mandalorian. I want to be in anything Star Wars, live action, or animation.
Oh, there you go.
See, now I just throw things in the universe because you never know who's listening.
Yeah.
And people love sprinkles so much. Somebody's kids listen saying, Daddy, my dad's John Favreau. You need to put that tag team dude in The Mandalorian. You never know how it's going to work, exactly. Right? But that's part of those laying them seeds, not worrying about it. If it never happens, it don't happen. But I'm going to throw it out there because that is what I want.
Yeah.
I would love to be in The Mandalorian. You could be a very small Star Wars universe character and live forever.
Oh, sitting at the cantina. You can sit at the cantina.
Exactly. I told my guys, I said, look, I want small parts in big movies. Give me 5 lines with The Rock. I'm good. I'll do the rest. Right. And that's what we're working on. So now I'm getting movie after movie and I'm getting better as an actor.
Yep.
And these transitions are helping me across the board.
Yeah.
Because being better as an actor makes me a better entertainer. Being a better entertainer makes me a better voiceover artist. Understanding what this all is and what the art and the craft is about all of it all helps each other. So I can make such a hybrid of me.
Yeah.
That everything I do is custom and can't nobody really copy me. And if they do copy me, I go back to my hustling days in the club where, oh, you're going to take my hustle? Cool, you can have it because I've got 10 hustles in the hole. Here's the new one. Catch me if you can.
Yeah.
Right?
I like it.
I've got 10 hustles and people are, DC, you can't do everything. You can't do everything. You're right. I can't do everything, but I'll be prepared for it all. They're like, you know what? You're right. And when I just shake my head because they're like, I said, you just approved of the very thing you just disapproved of, said in a different way because preparation is doing everything.
Yeah.
What?
Well, listeners want to find more information about you. Where can you point them to?
Just type in DC Glenn, tag team, anything. I made it easy for everybody to find me.
I like that. Just throw it in Google. You're not like
throw it in Google. That's what I'm saying. I could be found. Yep. You see what I'm saying? That's how you got to make your whole existence. Yep. The things that you want people to know about you, you have to be able to be found, and they will find you just by typing anything that's affiliated with you, next to you, close to you, whatever. And that's what happens. And my phone rings off the hook with opportunities all day.
Well, this has been a tremendous opportunity for me and for the show to have you on here. I really do appreciate it.
I want to thank you for just letting me come on here and run my mouth because I learn more from talking to people.
It was good stuff.
Yeah, man. It just, it for me, and I don't say this lightly. Me doing these, I do 3 or 4 of these a day. It is therapy for me.
Yeah.
Because I get to hash things out. I get to understand why I am who I am, how I do things, why things, went south, why this didn't happen. Why do I feel this way? I get to hash all those things out just by talking to people and understand and trying to find a better way for everybody with just simplistic things that you can do in your life that make your life better. Because we all want the same thing, man. Yeah. We all just want to be left alone and we want to make some money and take care of our families, man. And want peace of mind.
Yeah.
That's it. It's simple. So that's my mission. I just talk to people, man. Anybody want to listen? I got your back. I'll put you on game. But hey, man, I got to go, man, because I'm hungry. Got to do this voiceover and sprinkles.